Today we're taking a first look at the all-new NeoSander from Hozo Design. Now, we've used products in the past from Hozo Design like the Neo Blade, which is an ultrasonic cutting knife. Basically, it heats up the knife while it's also moving at super fast speeds to cut through things like leather, wood, and plastic. This little guy, though, is a little bit different. Because it's a sander, it doesn't come with blades, but it comes with a huge collection of sandpaper and a bunch of different attachments to stick that sandpaper onto. So we've got things like this guy to get into your corners, flat pieces to sand larger flat areas, and even round pieces so you can get kind of up inside certain areas that wouldn't make sense to try to do by hand, but you also wouldn't want to use something flat with it because, well, it wouldn't match the orientation of the curvature of the part that you're sanding. We're gonna dig into the box, take a first look at everything that comes with the NeoSander in the premium combo, and then put it to use a little bit. All right, so inside the box, we have 64 different sanding heads. So we have a pointed tip, a slim, medium, and large flat tip, half cylinder, arc, an acute angle, and a right angle. Of course, the NeoSander itself, a sanding bits bracket, USB-C charging cable, basic sanding paper kit, and the charging dock. So opening up the device, the first thing we'll see is the actual NeoSander itself, our USB-C cable, and the charging dock. When we take these off, we've got our quick start guide, a basic sandpaper kit, and underneath that, we've got all the different sanding tips. So I don't believe there's any difference between, say, the red flat one and the green flat one. We can pull this out, and each of these connect to each other. On the front, it's labeled 180, 240, 400, 600, 800, 1000, 1200, and 1500, which presumably would be for your different sandpaper grits. I guess that way it makes it easier to keep the sandpaper on there and know which one you're grabbing at any given point. And the cool thing is these kind of all connect to each other here. So on the side of the charging dock, we're also able to attach this so we can carry it around with the sander and dock itself. Before we take a look at the actual charging dock and the NeoSander itself, Hozo did send over a bunch of their sandpaper. So we've got our 180 master sandpaper kit with 600, 800, 1000, 1200, and 1500 grit. Included with the NeoSander itself is the basic sandpaper kit. And inside of here, it looks like we have some 1500, 1200, 1000, 800, 600, 400, 240, and 180. So we do have quite a bit that's included with the device itself. That way we can utilize every single one of these sanding attachments. So I guess with those out of the way, we can take a look at our charging dock. Pretty simple device here. You can see on each side of the dock, we've got those little slots so we can attach two different grits if we wanted to, kind of like that. Then we have our USB-C charging cable. Just plugs in the back right there. And then you will need a 5-volt 1-amp input or a power delivery input. So you should be able to charge this from something like your computer or a standard phone charger. And then of course we have the NeoSander itself. It's got a power button here. And this power button also tells you kind of the charge level. And inside the quick start guide, you can see here battery indication. If it's blue, it's got greater than 70%. If it's yellow, it's got greater than 20, so between 20 and 70. And if it's red, it's low. It looks like it's also got some variable speed. I don't know if you can hear this, but if I just turn it on a little bit, the sort of variable speed there, depending on how far up you turn the little switch. Just to see if this USB-C from the laptop is going to be enough, we can just dock it. And it does look like it's charging. We've got a little white light going on down there. So it does appear that a standard phone charger or plugging it into your laptop will do the trick. Now these pieces are pretty easy to install. There's a little peg on the front side of each of these attachments. And there's a little slot here. You can basically just stick it down in there, give it a quick turn, and you're good to go. Now, since we grabbed our green 600 grit, I'm gonna go through here and find one of these attachments that appears that it goes on here. Looks like one of these guys. They are sticky backed, and we can just apply that right to the sander like that. Now, if I go and take this piece out, we can store it away, and we know that this is 600 grit. Gone ahead and swapped out the little pointy one we just had on there for this medium flat sanding disc. And the reason for that is because on some of these business card holders that I sell, don't know if it's gonna come through on camera very well, but There are supports that need to be built up through here, and sometimes removing them leaves little bits and pieces that aren't always the easiest to get off. And it doesn't always leave a smooth surface. So what I'm curious about, and one of the reasons why I thought this was a really cool idea, is because of how many different sanding attachments there are. If we had to sand something off on the inside of this little curvature there, we've got kind of this rounded arc piece here that would probably let us do something like that. But for the time being, what I'm concerned about is this bottom surface here. I just want to see if I can quickly kind of smooth it and take away some of that roughness. That worked surprisingly well. 600 grit might be a little bit too fine to start off with, but it definitely smoothed down those areas that I was concerned about and kind of left the area where there's supports much smoother just from a quick few seconds of actually using it. So we can even pull that tip out and go down to something like a 400 grit, and these are super easy to install. They just have a sticky backing on them that peel off of this sheet and give it a little bit of pressure when you apply it to there, and you're good to go. And again, installing them into the actual NeoSander itself is just as easy as taking our insert, pushing it down, and giving it a twist. Now everything kind of fits together. Again, we could attach our charging base to all of these to kind of keep it all together. One thing I would have liked to have seen is somewhere either a separate attachment like you have these that could go onto the other side, or even a slot or a little compartment inside of the charging dock would be an area to store all of the extra sandpaper. Because right now, I mean, I can set it off to the side, that's no big deal, and they are pretty much the exact same length as the charging dock, but if they made this just a little bit longer and added an area that we could store the extra sandpaper, that would be really awesome. That way everything could kind of be compact, stored away, and moved around a little bit easier instead of running the risk of, losing individual sheets of sandpaper. Now, obviously, if you're using this at a desk or at a stationary location, that's not that big of a deal, but I tend to move things around in here a little bit. So that would have been something cool to see, is a little compartment to store your sandpaper, but obviously we're not going to fit all of it anyway. Now I see this being especially useful for, again, the 3D printing space, which is primarily what I do. But you could also use it for things like fine woodworking, or I used to create little CNC carved signs and plaques, and getting into all the little nooks and crannies, sometimes into the fine text that gets carved that's not always the cleanest. I could really see something like one of these attachments being useful for that, or even this one because of how sharp that edge is there to get down into those little areas that otherwise you would spend scraping out with a bit or something like that. If you're into making props, or you even have a resin printer, this would be super useful for getting all those tiny little imperfections that are caused by supports from a resin printer. Get them off with this in no time. Now this kit itself is called the NeoSander Premium Combo. Pricing on this entire kit here is coming in at $129 in the US. The NeoSander Pro basically eliminates this and eliminates all but one of these. So you get the charging dock, the NeoSander, and 8 individual bits to use for sanding. So if you're switching between grits on the same style, you would have to, again, switch the paper that's on each of them in between sanding. They also have what they're calling Sanding Pro, which is an all-in-one combo. That comes with this sandpaper, it comes with a nice little carrying case, and what looks to be a cutting mat underneath it as well to kind of keep everything in one general location. And that's coming in at $279 for the single unit. You can also get up to 40% off if you purchase more than one at a time. So a standalone NeoSander Pro, again, that comes with 8 bits, is $69.99, but if you buy 2 of them at a time, you get 35% off, comes to $129. Same thing with the combo that I have here. If you buy 2 of them, it's 40% off, so you get 2 of these sets for $239. Now, if you're working in a shop or something like that, where there's more than one person working on things at any given time, especially those who are doing, again, prop making, resin printing, or you tend to have a lot of supports that need to be cleaned up, that's a pretty good deal. This is a microphone desk clamp that I designed to basically hold a microphone arm at my computer desk. This was printed out of ABS. I did this a couple months back, and it basically printed this side down. So everything that was kind of facing towards the bed ended up having some pretty rough looking overhangs. And for aesthetic purposes, it doesn't really make a difference to me because it sits on the back of my desk, so I don't really see it anyways. But if this was something that I was designing to sell, I probably would want it to look a little bit better. ABS wouldn't be my first choice because obviously this having to sand it on every single job would be quite a pain, but PETG is still gonna have this. I've printed out of nylon, PLA, PETG, and ABS for this particular print just to do some testing with it, and they all kind of have some rough parts, mainly due to the nature of the design. This isn't really a great way to print something where you've got all of this curvature facing towards the bottom of the build plate, even with supports. Anyway, I've swapped out to the larger flat sanding pad, and I'm just curious if we can maybe clean some of this up. It actually did a pretty good job. Obviously, we have discoloration because we're sanding through the plastic. ABS happens to sand pretty easily, so this 240 grit sandpaper didn't really take all that long to kind of knock down a lot of those rough spots there. I'd probably start with 180 and spend 3 or 4 minutes going around here just to get it a little bit smoother because there are some inconsistencies within the depth of this, and then move up to 240, probably 600 after that, and then maybe 1,000 if I really wanted this smooth. Again, I wouldn't send a product like this out because it's got all the sanding marks, but if I was using it to sand something for prop making, or I had plans to paint this with something afterwards, this wouldn't be a big deal. But it definitely knock down a lot of those rough edges, and you can even see some of the bits and pieces of filament that were just kind of stringing there from the print fell right off. Before Christmas, I put out a video on a bunch of different 3D prints you can print out for the holiday season. One of them was a tic-tac-toe game, and one of the pieces was obviously this little Santa hat. Well, because of the way I printed them, I had them fairly close to each other on the build plate, and there was supports that were used in this particular print to assist with this little top ball, I guess. So some of them were kind of sitting like that, and the support pieces ended up bonding 2 of them together. So we ended up with this kind of rough patch here. Now, for the purposes of the video, that was fine. I can just turn it around. It's hidden. Nobody would ever know. But if I was gonna sell something like this, I definitely would want these parts to be much cleaner than they actually are. Now, obviously, the first step in this would be to just move them a little bit further apart so the supports don't stick to the models here. But again, with 240 grit sandpaper and a couple minutes of sanding, we can knock down some of those rough edges. Again, I'd probably still come back in here with one of the finer ones and touch it up a bit, but at least it knocked down that really rough edge where we had a big lip sticking out there. And again, working your way up through the grits starting at 180 and moving up to the finer grits will get you the best results. So that is just a first look at the NeoSander from Hozo Design. If you're interested in picking one of these guys up, I will have a link down in the description below so you can go back the project and pick one up for yourself. I really do think this sander will come in handy in my shop for sanding things like resin prints and all the little areas that might not come out the greatest when you're printing with supports. And if you're not into 3D printing, but you're into something like woodworking or even metalworking, I suppose, getting into those little tight nooks and crannies, especially with something like a CNC carving, can be difficult to do. I think this guy would definitely come in handy for that as well. Just based off of what I used to do with my CNC, I could definitely see this thing saving me hours of scraping out little bits and pieces that are left in some of the softer woods like pine.